That's not a conspiracy either. Everyone knows that scientists in Singapore are building factories to breed diseased mosquitoes. Wait, what was that? You don't know that scientists in Singapore are building factories to breed diseased mosquitoes? Well, that's great news, because I just so happen to have already made the rest of this video be about that exact topic. There's a very good reason for Singapore to be doing this, which I'll get into in a minute. First though, I should explain the stakes. Mosquitoes are the deadliest animals on Earth, killing twice as many humans as humans, 20 times as many humans as snakes. Deadly mosquito-borne diseases are found most commonly in sub-Saharan Africa and in smaller Pacific Island nations like Singapore. With a population of only 6 million, they recorded 26,000 cases of dengue fever just last year. The problem has gotten even worse during the course of the pandemic. Singapore experienced unusually wet weather in 2020, mosquito breeding grounds went mostly untouched during lockdown, and the presence of a hot new plague apparently made mosquitoes realize that they need to step up their game. In the past, pesticides have been fairly effective at combating diseases like malaria and dengue fever. For the past 40 years, most of the world has been using a type of pesticides called pyrethroids, which can be sprayed on home interiors and bed netting without harming humans or animals. But recently, we started to hit a wall. Point is, pesticides are becoming increasingly less viable in the parts of the world where they're most sorely needed. Now, there are other mosquito control techniques that we've used in the past, like reducing bodies of standing water where mosquitoes can lay eggs, breeding animals to eat mosquitoes like mosquito fish, and the classic slapping them with the old meat hook, but these are only partial solutions. Truly tackling this problem requires thinking like a mosquito, and since mosquitoes really only think about making more mosquitoes, that means making more mosquitoes. Many countries, like India, Australia, Brazil, and a handful more, have begun breeding mosquitoes to release into the environment, but there's a catch. These are no ordinary mosquitoes. After so many centuries of mosquitoes infecting us, we've infected them right back, specifically with a bacteria called Wolbachia. This bacteria actually prevents the mosquitoes from carrying diseases like dengue and Zika, and females can pass the bacteria down to their children and spread it further in subsequent generations. This doesn't kill any mosquitoes, but it does downgrade them from life-ending to picnic ruining. Singapore, however, wasn't satisfied with this dumb, everyone wins Mr. Rogers BS, and modified it to crush their enemies once and for all. They realized that while Wolbachia-infected females can give birth, Wolbachia-infected males spend too much time on Reddit and can't fertilize the eggs of normal females. By only releasing infected males into the environment, Singapore essentially dilutes the mosquito breeding pool with mosquitoes that won't have children. Over time, this gradually reduces the entire mosquito population, in some areas by as much as 90%. Of course, there are still a few problems with this method. Since the infected males don't pass the bacteria along to the next generation, because again, the infected males can't have kids, the factories need to keep churning out mosquitoes in a constant stream to keep populations low. If they stop, the populations will eventually return to normal.
Mosquitoes! Everybody wants to kill mosquitoes. But in Singapore, they create mosquitoes and spread them in the millions to fly free in the country. The first thing on your mind is, why are they doing this and did they go crazy? Well, they did not. For the first time ever, I want to show you the full, exciting journey of how Singapore fights mosquitoes. For those that don't know, mosquitoes aren't just annoying, they are also deadly. Many female mosquitoes have dengue virus, and just like malaria, you can get dengue from a mosquito bite, and in severe cases, you could die. Between 50 and 500 million people get dengue every year, and 10 to 20,000 people die from mosquito bites. So if you want to eliminate dengue, you must kill all the dengue mosquitoes everywhere. But they are hard to find and therefore hard to kill. So how do you stop mosquitoes? Well, a team of researchers in Singapore came up with an idea.
What if we stop mosquitoes from having babies?
And that's exactly what they did. They created a new type of mosquito that is so strong that it can go out there and find all the bad mosquitoes and stop them from having babies. So apparently this is like a mosquito nursing room, and there's like hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of mosquitoes right here waiting to be released to the outside world. This is as crazy as it sounds. This new mosquito doesn't bite or hurt you at all. I'm going to check if these mosquitoes truly do not bite or hurt if you put your hand inside of them. If this good mosquito falls in love with a bad mosquito, the bad mosquito will no longer be able to have kids. No new babies, no new mosquitoes. Genius! So, Singapore created millions of these good mosquitoes and put them in a mosquito gun and blasted them. To neighborhoods, to rooftops, to gardens, everywhere. The good mosquitoes mated with the bad ones and they could no longer reproduce.
In no time, all mosquitoes, good and bad, will die naturally without having any kids.
Whoever said love kills was not wrong. Because this is literally how Singapore is fighting the dengue virus. Dengue mosquitoes dropped significantly by more than 90% and saved many residents from the virus threat. This ingenious method is such a success that they are opening a mosquito factory in Singapore just to fight dengue. This factory is so advanced it can create tens of thousands of good mosquitoes every single day. Everybody needs to see this because the world's biggest problems can be fixed. You just need a little bit of creativity and a mosquito gun. See you next week.
Aedes mosquitoes breed easily, so just eradicating breeding spots may not be enough. But I hear there's an unconventional way to control the Aedes mosquito population. This is Caleb Lee, and this is the gadget he works with. And if you think this is meant to shoot at mosquitoes, you can't be further from the truth.
I'm releasing the male mosquitoes.
Okay, why are you doing that?
Well, basically, the mosquitoes are releasing contains the Wolbachia bacterium, and when they mate with the females, the resulting eggs will not hatch. So, by doing so, we hope to reduce the mosquito population in this area.
Oh! Wow. Oh, but these are male mosquitoes and it's the female ones that bite, right?
Yes. Do you want to give it a go?
Okay, yeah. Here we go. Wow, look at that. Where are these mosquitoes coming from?
Oh, we have a lab that makes them.
So they're bred?
Yes.
And I guess infected with this Wolbachia bacteria?
Yes.
So this is where Caleb gets his ammunition from. A whole factory dedicated to produce teeny tiny mosquitoes. This is all part of Project Wolbachia. Male mosquitoes infected with the Wolbachia bacteria are released to mate with wild females. The plan is simple. Once infected, the female's eggs cannot hatch, spelling an end to the population of Aedes mosquitoes. Leading the charge is Dr. Ng Lee Ching.
Wow, what's happening in here?
Mosquitoes, plenty of mosquitoes in here. So this is what we call the stock colony that's responsible for producing all the eggs that we need for Project Wolbachia.
So this whole facility here is where you breed the male mosquitoes?
Yes, that's right. The Aedes aegypti here already carry Wolbachia, so we just have to breed them in large numbers, and then you'll see how we process them and only select the males, sort out and get the males out to be released.
This is the hatching room. Rows and rows of trays with water, which contain Aedes mosquito eggs which will eventually hatch.
So I understand this project's been around for a few years.
Yes, since 2016.
Yeah. What have the results been like so far? Have you seen significant improvements or reduction in the number of mosquitoes in certain areas?
The results have been very promising in the field, in the sites where we have released in Tampines and in Yishun since 2016. Places with high Aedes aegypti mosquito population initially, we have seen a 90% reduction in the Aedes aegypti mosquito population. And in areas where we have released for a longer period, like more than a year, we have seen a sustained low mosquito population for more than a year.
So if this has been so effective, why not do it nationwide for the whole of Singapore?
Unfortunately, it's not a turnkey technology. This is so advanced. You can't just go and buy kits and gadgets to start producing loads of it and release lots of it.
You're saying, is it because we can't breed enough mosquitoes to cover the entire country?
That's one reason we don't have enough mosquitoes. Yeah. But secondly, it's also because the technology is very new. We need to assess the technology. And that's why it's still in the research phase.
Is it possible there will come a day where we can eradicate mosquitoes altogether?
We think that we can reduce, but it will be very difficult to eradicate completely.
Seek them out, a new tool is needed, and male Wolbachia carrying Aedes mosquitoes could be just what we are looking for. After years of studies and risk assessment on various novel control tools at the Environmental Health Institute, NEA has identified and shown the potential of using only male Wolbachia carrying Aedes aegypti mosquitoes to suppress the Aedes aegypti population in Singapore. Hi Abby.
Hi Christina,
What are you doing here?
I'm picking mosquito pupae.
Oh, I see. There's so many pupae in here. You sorting between the males and the females? Male mosquito pupae are smaller than female pupae, thus they can be sorted by size. After sorting, the male pupae are allowed to emerge as adult mosquitoes, which are then ready to do their job, mate with urban females, and cause the eggs to be non-viable. Since 2012, EHI has been carrying out risk assessment and laboratory studies to confirm that Wolbachia is safe and that its desirable properties are retained when it is transferred to the local strain of Aedes aegypti. Firstly, Wolbachia is extracted from Aedes albopictus, another black and white mosquito species commonly found in Singapore. The bacterium is then introduced into Aedes aegypti eggs via microinjection, causing mosquitoes that emerge to carry the bacterium. As Wolbachia is passed on from female Wolbachia aedes to their offspring, these females are used to rear subsequent generations of Wolbachia aedes aegypti. Whilst the females are used for generating more Wolbachia aedes aegypti, the males are useful for Aedes aegypti population control. Studies conducted at EHI have indeed shown that there were no viable eggs and no offspring when male Wolbachia aedes aegypti mated with female urban Aedes aegypti with no Wolbachia. The Wolbachia aedes technology is a potential complementary tool in Singapore's dengue control program, and it is critical for all stakeholders to continue to do their part to prevent dengue. Let's remain vigilant and fight dengue together as a community to keep our loved ones safe.
A small-scale field study. With the comprehensive laboratory studies and extensive stakeholder and community engagement conducted to date, the project has now reached a significant milestone as we bring these studies into the field. project.
The WHO, other governments and people were fighting so hard to reverse the trend of dengue, but it's been so difficult. And I hope that this project will give us a new tool, and I'm sure this case will be a reference point in Southeast Asia and Asia, not only because of technology-wise, but then how the government reaches out community and involve academics and community and governmental people.
We have now progressed to phase 2 of Project Wolbachia Singapore. When these male Wolbachia aedes mosquitoes mate with urban Aedes aegypti females in the community, the resultant eggs do not hatch. The continual release of such male Wolbachia aedes mosquitoes is expected to bring about a gradual reduction in the urban Aedes aegypti mosquito population.
At phase 1 of the field study, about 50% suppression of Aedes aegypti mosquitoes at the release sites shows that the Wolbachia technology is really promising. The study has also given us lots of valuable data to help us move forward to the next phase.
We have also gained a better understanding of how far and how high the male Wolbachia aedes mosquitoes fly, how long they live, and their mating competitiveness in actual field conditions.
So one of the things that we found was that within the site there was quite a lot of heterogeneity in the amount of mosquito breeding. This was both at different blocks within the site, but also different levels within a block. And this has some implications for how we will design the next phase of the Wolbachia study.